in action here properly. Let's see here. Cool, yeah, everything's working. All right, welcome everyone. This is Cam. So, first time I've done like a stream by myself with Handelabra, so I'm super excited and super nervous. So if I say like the same thing 500 times, it's because I'm having a small freak out. And just bear with me on that. And also let me know if the audio works, because I did some audio tests, and I think everything's good, but you never know when things decide to break. So yeah, for anybody who doesn't know, I work as developer support with Handelabra, so I do a lot of fun things, like responding when guys and gals have problems with the game that they want to let us know, and working on things like our build system that I have in front of us right now. So if you ever sent in a report and got a reply back, it was me. Probably crying a lot because some things get confusing. Either way. so yeah, so as what John was saying before, since he just did the push up for some recent changes for the game, a lot of our stuff comes through here within the Unity dashboard. So it's really cool that when Unity launched this, and I like seeing other studios implement this because it's actually a really nice feature, where a lot of the work that we do, as soon as we put it up for storing on some sort of repository or something, also gets sent over to Unity, and we can basically run a lot of like various scripts and things like that to start building the game through Unity's computers, through their servers, as opposed to doing it innately from our machine. So it's really nice. It's a nice way to automatically do it and not have to necessarily hand build everything all the time. And let's see if I can, because I meant to pull up. It should be. I think it's under support. Let's see. Because they have a nice API guide that I wanted to show you guys, and I meant to pull that up first. Let's do this. Boop, boop, and that should be it there. Cool. Dual screens for life. If you don't have two screens, you're not doing it right. Unless you're John, because he uses a MacBook for a lot of things. So yeah, this is the API that they have for Unity Cloud Build, and it's it's really nice. A lot of it just uses like JSON packages. It kind of bunches everything up, sends it over as like little folders of information that get sent back and forth. And when we send one out, Unity receives it and knows what to do. It unpacks that folder, pulls out the files it needs, does work, and usually sends us back a very similar package. They've got nice things and they spell everything out pretty well for you. Some things take a little bit of legwork to really put in the stuff that you need, but they give you nice examples of how your package is supposed to look. They'll give you there's a cool thing to even autofill in right here. I never got this to work though, so I don't know how well this send request button works, but nonetheless, and a lot of the stuff sends back information spelled out in this way. So for our purposes, we took use of this, and with John's help, I set up some nice scripts like these. And all this is really saying is starting the process with this A build, and then it just goes through, bounces to different folders. So we got different scripts running, and it'll send over information that are placed inside these variables to run the different scripts. So it's really nice because it essentially allows just like a button press, or more so type in a command, hit a button, and everything else runs smoothly on its own. And alongside that, we have another one that just basically does the same thing, but it does it for all the versions of Aeon's End. So that's how that works. And I know John just pushed some stuff up, so let's press a button. And I'm going to close that because that was something I was fixing right before this, and I totally broke. Boop, boop, boop. Cool. Yeah, so hopefully this works correctly, because I'm using this off my desktop, and I'm primarily using my laptop for a lot of this. So I had to quickly pull the repositories down, and I think everything came down correctly. This is going to be my first time actually running this from my desktop. So to run scripts like these, they're all bash scripts. You first get yourself a nice like working environment. So this is a Git bash. It's really cool. You just download it from Git's website, and you basically do a lot of things that are similar to the built-in like Windows command line or like the terminal for Mac. But it to me it works slightly better for this purpose, and that's more of a readability thing just because I'm used to it. In Windows 10, its PowerShell is really nice too, and I can't wait for them to launch that sweet command line thing they want to bring in Windows 10. I heard that's not going to come for months, but when I was reading about it, I was like, ooh, that's going to be so nice. It's like an all-in-one package. I love it. So this, and I just got to make sure I'm reading this right. So we're going to just do it for all of them. And you can kind of see how it runs along. So I'm going to do AE all. Always put your .sh so that way it actually knows the thing you're calling. It needs a parachute. So you have to always put the .sh. I make that mistake all the time. I've had times where I'm like, why is it not running? It's saying it's broken. I'm looking at the file because I didn't put the extension. Without the extension, it's like, I don't know what you're calling. You're just telling me do this arbitrary thing. So hit the button, and based on the stuff that we put in, like it'll say it's beginning to what type of build it's working on. And that information is put, where did I put that? It might not be in this particular script. It might be in the common one, and I'm pretty sure the common one doesn't have anything super weird or specific in it because all of it's just variables, variables. Yeah. So, oh, yeah, a little bit. But, yeah. Yeah, so it says begin building at one part, and then it'll say from there the begin building, and what we plug in the name of the version that we're running. Yeah. So now that that's going, if we go back and check on it, every 30 seconds it's going to check the status. And this is one of the things I want to fix because I wanted to add in a nice little thing that tells you, hey, we're checking the status of insert this thing. And it came up blank. And I was like, why did it come up blank? But this is going to take some time because the builds aren't like a super speedy kind of thing. It just takes the time of however long it takes for their systems to process everything. But the important part is that if I decided to walk away, go make a ham sandwich, maybe go get some pop, I could come back and just see, oh yeah, it's still going. It's still checking for me, letting me know how long it's going. And then I could just leave again and then come back. And maybe come back with another ham sandwich. It wouldn't be healthy to eat that many ham sandwiches, but it can be done. So, result. So what I want to do while that's going, just kind of show you guys like how the bash scripting works in this, is figure out where I put that part for telling us what it's running. And I think that's actually in another script. I wonder if I can do this. Let's do that. Let's put this over here. Because I also want to make sure I don't like incidentally throw up something like, oh hey, look, this is super sensitive company information, and you just put it on screen. Congratulations, Cam. You're a walking security risk. Okay. So I'm going to put that over there really quick. And yeah. That'll be something I want to change later. Okay, yeah, so I guess I probably can't edit that part because there's definitely some important bits in that. So yeah, but what is cool though, in part what John just said, is that it actually does show the status inside the cloud built site for how the build is going. So we see right now we have Steam beta Windows. If we hit the view details section of it, it gives us a lot of things, a lot of code things, gives us logs and stuff. But the really important part is, or at least for what I usually use it for, is just showing how far it's going and how long it's been running. So see here, it shows like building for 3 minutes. And if it seems like it's going for a long time, it'll keep updating that time for us, and that's always really nice. But otherwise, that kind of just runs on its own for a bit. So I want to see there was a couple of things I wanted to add into this part. We can add in a thing to check whether or not somebody, at least on this particular initial build part, actually added in the correct parameters to start it. So that's just checking if the build starts. That gets the build number. And we want this right here. So I think I'll put it like about right here. It's a good, oh no, that got rid of that. There we go. So we'll put it on this line right here. I'm a space fiend. You'll see me add in a lot of spaces for things because I have like really bad contacts. So it's really nice to have spaces. And I think it's a readability for anybody, but it's really nice to have a lot of spaces just so it's easier to separate things and see really well. Alright, so so we're gonna put in, I like putting in like if statements for things. I don't want to put too many in because then it looks weird, but if statements are very, very nice. So we can say if, and we usually use version and platform when we're calling this particularly. So if, let's say, should be like space, $, oh, yeah, space, $, and we'll put verse, and that's going to be referencing this particular variable. And we're going to say if that equals, we'll put in null. Because I want to first check to see if anyone put anything there. It'd be a lot more difficult to take into note every possible like name we could put down for a version of the build. So it's a lot easier to say, hey, if it's null, then we know that somebody didn't, when they went to call this, they didn't initially put in any information. It's a lot easier to check for that. So put that and jump down the line. We can put then. Jump down one more time. Tab in. We could just say like echo. Can put something like missing. Let's say missing information. I'm a little wary of putting the colons there. Let's see what happens. Missing information version. Build version. Let's say that. And if we decide to change it later, we can always change it later. It's no big deal. And just immediately like exit it. And then back up one. Put fi. That kind of closes that loop for the if statement. Then I'll just copy this whole thing and save myself some time in typing. Drop down. Put that same thing in, but this time instead of version, it's going to be for platform. Then we'll say missing information build platform. Super simple stuff. And they both will basically do the same thing. So if either one of those, why is it trying to save that like that? That's weird. The beauty of Windows when Windows breaks. There we go. That's odd because the file is already open, so it shouldn't have me do it like that. Yeah, maybe it is for whatever reason. So we'll just click that. I don't know why it wants me to replace it. Oh, I see. Yeah, because it's still technically being used by the actual Yeah, by this running, so we can't save it yet. That is something that I have done 500 times while saving things and wondering, why won't you let me save? Because you're still using that thing. Maybe if you close things, things would work. So yeah, until that finishes, we will just wait to save it. So jumping back here, we can see that the Steam beta version of it finished. So that's awesome. And it should be getting ready to start, the Windows version rather to say, should be getting ready to start the Linux and the Mac one. See, yep. Okay. So at this point now it's running another script that takes all of that information, the actual build itself, and it grabs it from the server and gets ready to download it to the computer. So at this step, we're just downloading. Yep. So we're getting the zip file for it, and that's being pulled down. So depending how big the project is, that can. Yep. Yep, it's running. So depending on how long that or big the project is, will usually depend on how long it'll take to pull that down. Just depends on the size of the file. Okay, there we go. So we put in for the check, and I'd rather usually before I go to the next step on doing something, actually save something, test it, see if that first thing I initially did worked. But since we're still waiting on that going, and I'd rather not, there'd be no point in like canceling this out since we need the build to be done anyways. I'll just try and move on to the next step. And apparently Windows is trying to force some updates on me. My only one criticism of using Windows, it is real pushy with updates. Cloud build. So we've got to check to see if somebody doesn't fill that in. We've got error for if the build didn't run, and if it couldn't download it. See if there's any other error handling bits that we need in here. Any other information we could use. And thus the silence begins. Because I'm trying to see if there's anything else. The other things I wanted to add in are on a separate script that like has some things that also need to be changed, and thus it's like probably shouldn't show that on screen. So fixes upon fixes upon fixes. Okay, cool. So the download portion of that already finished, and now we're getting the Mac build going for this. Once all these kind of finish and they move to their respective places, then we can move on to like one of the last steps. You might want to recheck over empty string, not null. Contest it out. It's fair. John says testing for empty instead of null. Which I forget you can actually put. See, I've done it for C#, and I should be the same. Does it come up as empty when it's run? I thought it usually came in as null. If you don't fill in this, because last time I ran this and I didn't add in any like parameters, all the stuff that I was looking for just came up as null. Wish I still had that one there. Maybe once this finishes, because I have to wait for this to finish to even test that out. Oh, actually, I know what I can do. Let's try this. So let's go back here. Actually, no. We'll do this. Create a new file. So very similar, making like the make that sample file, and yeah, it's just gonna be a empty. Honestly, I don't even think I want a text file for that. Let me read that one more time. I might not have been the one I wanted. See if they just have one for blank file. Nope, just text file, and then we'll save without the text part. We'll grab this, and if it's in the same location, a lot of this stuff can basically stay the same. So I'm just going to grab everything from here down. Till about right. I want to say it's about right there should work. Maybe even that's a little bit far up. Yeah, honestly, I could just grab it from about like right here to about like right here. And then if I just paste that in. Oh, actually, I forgot one big important part to that. Gotta grab this line. And we drop that in there. Just save this and we'll call it oh, I hate when it does that. We want, it always tries to save it into like this specific Windows repo thing that's super annoying. Actually, let's do it like this. Copy all of that. No, don't save that. Go back to the end folder. Create another text document. Can keep its name the way it is. Drop it in. Paste that. Save it up. We'll say it's save it as, and we'll call it tester.sh. There we go. And while that's going, go. Still building. Check it on this side. Cool. Alright, so on tester, if I just call it without stuff there. Actually, let's jump down here. We can just echo $sign first. I don't think I have to put that in any like anything in particular. I think I could just hit echo on that and that should be fine. And then we'll just echo $plat. Oops. Save that. tester sh c / tester. Yeah, just came out empty. Said no, came out empty. So let's try this. And that's what it brought me back to the previous question I had. I never had to check for like an empty thing bash wise. I've done for C sharp, and it's usually like string.empty. But in this instance, I'm like, do I just don't know how to just try something here. So I'll put empty right here first. Push come to shove, Google search. That is my answer to all things unanswered in life. Google search it. Okay, nope, did nothing. Should we go for a wild Google hunt here? Yeah, let's go for a wild Google hunt. First, before we do that, yep, still checking. And on this side, oh, cool. So OSX did finish. It probably just didn't update on this side. Yeah, it was probably within that 30-second slot. And in a moment here, it'll probably update saying that it did the thing. If I could check it, it'd be nice to put in a thing to see if it, whenever it immediately does it, but it's not the end of the world. So let's try something like bash check for empty string. There you go. Return true if bash variable is unset as an empty string. Let's read this. This person seems like they know what they're talking about. So this is actually the great secret of all programming. It's just Google searches. Syntax follows or. So it looks like -z is the way to go with that. So let's try it. Whoops. Well, let me look at that one more time. So if okay, cool. So if instead of saying equals anything, looks like they're saying -z $sign first -z $sign plat. See how that goes. Oh, yeah, that was it. Dun 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 dun. And that was my baby because she probably thought my little song I made was about her and not the fact that we did something right. Let's see. $sign verse. And then -c $sign plat. And once all that's said and done, it should then work the way we expect it to. Let's see. Okay, yep. So now the OSX version is downloading things. And that should be done shortly. On this side, yep, basically reflecting all the same information. It's always weird that the Windows one seems to take much longer than the OS X one. And Linux is now started. And that's really the last one on the list. And once that one's good to go, then we can try getting things over Steam-wise. Which is going to be a little tricky. Because it was easier on my laptop. I don't know if I'll be able to get it to work on here. We'll see. So otherwise, we added that in. And we're back to where we were before. And that is waiting till I can save this, because I want to test to see if all this comes together full circle properly, and this is still going. I'm the substantially less interesting one compared to John. So let's explore while we wait quietly and patiently for things to happen. Some more API things. Feel free to cheer anybody in the audience and clap your hands for reading, because it's like my favorite thing. Just read API. And I guess it's actually really an insight on how those various other scripts go. Even though I can't like show them on screen at the time, I can at least go over like